to Whiteboard Learning Platform. My name is Anuradha Tripathi. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the Nobel Prize, because every year in the month of October, we see that the newspaper is filled with the various names who are associated with invention or the contribution in one way or another way, and their contribution have been rewarded with the help of the Nobel Prize. So in today's session, first and foremost, we are going to discuss the historical background of Nobel Prize. What are the category of Nobel Prize? What is the procedure of selection? Till now, how many Indians have won this Nobel Prize, means Journey of India. And in the last, we are going to look after in 2024, who have been given the Nobel Prize. Okay, so in this entire session, you will get the comprehensive 360-degree analysis related to the Nobel Prize. So before we'll start the discussion, it is my humble request that if you are coming across for the first time to this video or the channel, don't forget to subscribe and share among the people. So now we'll start. So background is considered with the name of a person, Alfred Bernard Nobel, who is a businessman, entrepreneur, innovator and writer, who himself having approximate 355 patent in his name, and he is known as the inventor of dynamite. Okay, so he wanted basically to use his entire fortune to reward the people who have done the greatest benefit for the mankind in the preceding year. So therefore, he wrote a very famous will on 27th of November 1895. So basically, this is the date when he wrote his own will, whereby he wrote that his entire fortune, means whatever the properties he was having, that should be converted into a fund. Okay, and that fund is going to be invested, and whatever the amount is going to be generated after the investment in terms of return, so that is going to be utilized in order to reward the people by giving them the Nobel Prize. And this is one of the reasons that every year, whatever the amount which is one of the part of the Nobel Prize may or may not same for every year. Fine. So that's how we can see, this is the journey that how the Nobel Prize came into existence when Alfred Bernard Nobel wrote his will on the 27th of November 1895. So on 1895 is the year when the Nobel Prize was created. Okay, so this date you should remember. And the second important aspect is related to when for the first time Nobel Prize was given. So for the first time it was on 1901, the Nobel Prize was given. So these are the two important dates. One is 1895 when the Nobel Prize was created. Okay, and then 1901 when for the first time Nobel Prize was given. Here, second most important date you should know, this is the 10th of December. This is the 10th of December, which is termed as Nobel Day, which is a death anniversary of Alfred Bernard Nobel. So what is the significance of this particular Nobel Day apart from the death anniversary of Alfred Bernard Nobel? We are going to discuss in the continuation of this session. So this is about the background and how the Nobel Prize came into existence. If you talk about what are the categories under which this Nobel Prize is awarded, so there are the 5 categories. Okay, these 5 categories is mentioned in his will. So one is related to physics, second is related to chemistry, a third is related to physiology, medicine, fourth is related to literature, and the fifth is related to peace. here what you need to understand, in these four categories, the Nobel Prize is given to individuals. Okay, that you should remember. But when it comes to peace, Nobel Prize in peace, it can be given to individual along with any organization or institution. This is very, very important. You should remember that when it comes to peace prize, it can be given to individual also, and any institution or the organization who have contribute in order to maintain the peace and the harmony in the society among the people and world at large. Okay. Then you must have seen in the newspaper that we also heard about the Nobel Prize in the economics. So the originally Nobel Prize in the economics was not there in the Alfred Nobel will, but in order to, in the memory of Alfred Nobel, in 1968, here you should remember the year, in 1968, Sweden Central Bank, the Sweden Central Bank, namely Sveriges Riksbank, created the Nobel Prize in the economics category. But as far as the Alfred Nobel will is concerned, so only in the 5 categories this Nobel Prize is given. So after 1968, we are having the category 6. Out of the 6, 5 is in the will of Alfred Nobel and 1 is by the Sweden Central Bank. I hope now you will not have the confusion as far as the category of the Nobel Prize is concerned. Now, we are going to see that what exactly constitute the Nobel Prize. So, Nobel Prize is having the 3 aspects. One is any individual who have been given the Nobel Prize, thereafter he or she termed as Nobel laureates, he will receive a Nobel Prize diploma. So one aspect is related to diploma. Then the second is related to medal, and this medal, Nobel Prize medal, this is in the gold metal of 24 carat, that you should also remember. And apart from this, there will be one document that is going to detail that what exact amount will be given to the person who is the winner for that particular category in particular year. So there will be a document that will detail the prize amount. So in the start of the session, I have told you that amount will be vary from year to year depending upon that what return have been generated after the investment of Alfred Nobel fortune. So for this particular year, it is 11 million Sweden crowns, which is the currency of the Sweden. So for this 2024, whatever the Nobel Prize recipient, they are going to receive the 11 million Sweden crowns. So that is somehow equivalent to $1.1 million. Okay, this is very, very important that you should remember. And another important aspect, you must have seen in the newspaper sometime in one particular category there are the multiple winners. So here what you need to understand that a Nobel Prize cannot be given more than 3 individuals in one category, and that too this 3 individuals must have contributed to at least two different contribution related to the field. So that we will understand with the help of example. In the 2024, in the field of chemistry, the award is given to 3 individuals, and these 3 individuals have contributed in the field of chemistry related to the 2 different aspects. So that is also written in his wills that the prize can be shared up to the 3 individuals, not more than this. So for the Peace Prize, I have told you that it can be awarded to an institution or organization as well along with the individual. Now the another important aspect is that this prize cannot be awarded posthumously, which means if a person have died, so later on that prize cannot be awarded. But one change that have been done in 1974, that if the prize have been announced and after that a person died, so the award can be still awarded. So in after 1975, if the recipient die after the prize have been announced, they can still be awarded. So these are the certain aspects related to what constitute the Nobel Prize and what are the certain conditions as far as a Nobel Prize is concerned. Now we'll see what is the procedure in order to get the Nobel Prize. So here basically this entire process is consisting of 3 stages. One is nomination, a second is selection, and the last is the award ceremony. So here in the nomination process, we need to understand that self-nomination is not allowed. So here the Nobel Prize Committee is going to send the Nobel Prize Committee basically will ask approximate 3,000 people about the nomination, and these 3,000 people basically they are the government institution or the former Nobel recipient awarded. So their opinion are going to be considered that like in this particular year who should be given the award. So basically after this 3,000 people, they have to send their list of the priority to the Nobel Prize Committee, and from that particular list the selection process will start. Okay, so whenever we see in the newspaper, for example in the month of October 2024, the announcement usually done. So the first 2 weeks, first weeks and the second week, the announcement for that particular year the Nobel Prize winner is done by the Nobel Prize Committee, but the entire process start approximately 11 months before. For example, in the month of October 2024, we have seen 5 to 6 basically Nobel Prize, but the procedure itself started in the month of September 2023. In the month of September, Nobel Prize Committee will ask these 3,000 people about the nomination, and these 3,000 people must submit their nomination before the 31st January of the award year, which means for 2024 the procedure started in September 2023. So in the 31st January 2024, the Nobel Prize Committee must have got the list of the name which was given by these 3,000 people, and out of their list which is provided by these people, the Nobel Prize Committee will select 300 candidates for that particular year prize. So this is what the nomination. Now coming to the second stage, which is the selection procedure. So for each category of the Nobel Prize, be it literature, peace, physics, chemistry, physiology or medicine, there are the different committee who are going to select the individual for the Nobel Prize award. Okay, so for the 6 prize, there are the 4 organizations who are going to select the people out of these 300 candidates. Okay, and here the selection procedure means these 4 organizations, when they are going to select the 6-7 individuals for the prize, that selection is based on the voting, and that voting obviously by the majority of the vote. So here in the selection procedure, there is a concept of vote which is involved. That also you should remember. So these 4 organizations who will be voting to select the people in the different category. So first is Royal Swedish Academy of Science. They are going to deal with the chemistry, physics, economics, science. Okay, 3 category by the Royal Swedish Academy of Science. Then there is a Nobel Assembly at Karolinska Institute who is going to deal with the physiology or medicine. Okay, then a Swedish Academy again for the literature. Last but not the least, Norwegian Nobel Committee for the peace. So basically these 4 organizations, they will select the Nobel Prize for the 6 different category with the help of the vote. So immediate after the voting have been done, the announcement is done for that particular year. So here what we have understand, in the month of October, whenever we see in the newspaper about the Nobel Prize have been awarded, it means this is the selection process stage, because the award ceremony will done on the 10th of December, which is the Nobel Day, death anniversary of Alfred Nobel. So, okay. So here when we see that majority of the vote is used, announcement of their decision in the first 2 weeks of the October, and this is what we are seeing in the newspaper in the last 2 weeks of this month, October 2024. So I think now you should not have the confusion that what exactly done in this entire process of the Nobel Prize selection. So this is the second stage. Okay, then the third is award ceremony, Nobel Day, which is the 10th of December, also know because of the death anniversary. So here on this particular day, the award will actually given to the Nobel Prize winner of that particular year. So here one more thing we need to understand. We have seen there are the 6 categories. So leaving aside the peace category, for all the other category, the Nobel Prize is going to be awarded ceremony will be held at Stockholm concert in the Sweden. But if we talk about the Nobel Peace Prize on the same day but in a different category, the Nobel Prize in Peace Oslo will be given by the Norwegian Nobel Committee. So this awarding ceremony will be conducted in the 2 countries. One is Sweden and another is Norway. When it comes to the Peace Prize, so it is the Norway. Okay, but if you talk about the other 5 category, then it is the Sweden. So this is also important aspect that you should know about the Nobel Prize. Now, another important aspect is that if an individual have been given the Nobel Prize or the medal, then it is not possible to revoke. So once it is given, it cannot be revoked. Okay, and we have seen that self-nomination is not allowed because the Nobel Prize Committee will ask for the nomination to the 3,000 different individual, organization, government of the different countries. So these are the certain aspect about the selection procedure here. Now the certain Nobel Prize winner who have a distinction of getting the Nobel Prize for one or another reason. So here the youngest one who have received the Nobel Prize till yet, it is at the age of 17. In 2014, the Peace Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize is given to Malala Yousafzai. She is from Pakistan. So she is the youngest Nobel laureate who have got the Nobel Prize in the peace category at the age of 17 in 2014. If you talk about the oldest one, so it is the John B. Goodenough who got the Nobel Prize in the chemistry field in 2019 at the age of 97-year-old. Then there is one more Nobel Prize winner, namely Marie Curie. She is the only woman till now who have got the Nobel Prize 2 times, and that too from the different category. One is related to physics and the second is related to chemistry. So in 1903, the Nobel Prize in the physics, and in 1911, the Nobel Prize in the chemistry. Okay, so the 3 person, Malala Yousafzai, the youngest one in the peace category at the age of 17 in 2014. Then there is a John B. Goodenough at the age of 97, oldest recipient, prize in the chemistry 2019. Now, here the journey of Indians as far as the Nobel Prize is concerned. So till now, 12 Indians have got the Nobel Prize. If we specifically talk about the Indian citizen, then it is 5 in number. The rest of the 7 are either the Indian resident or they are having the ancestors who are based in the India. So as far as the Indian citizen is concerned, so it is only 5. But in total, there are only 12 Indians. So for the first time in 1902, from the Physiology or Medicine on the work of malaria by Ronald Rose. Then the second in 1907 related to literature in by the Rudyard Kipling. Then the third is the very first Indian citizen, not only the very first Indian citizen but also the first Asian recipient, none other than Rabindranath Tagore in 1913 in the field of literature. This is very, very important. that you should remember, because he is not only the first Indian but also the first Asian. Rabindranath Tagore, 1913, in the field of literature. Then in the field of science, we all know that C.V. Raman in the physics, Raman scattering effect. Then Har Gobind Khurana, 1968, physiology or the medicine genetic code or the protein synthesis. Then in 1979, a Peace Prize to the Mother Teresa. Then in 1983, in the field of physics related to the evolution of star is given to S. Chandrasekhar. Then Amartya Kumar Sen, the Nobel laureate in the field of economics in 1998, related to the concept of the welfare economics. This is also very, very important. Now, in 2009, to the Venkatraman Ramakrishnan in the field of chemistry related to the structure and the functions of ribosomes. Then in 2014, related to the Peace Prize for the children education is given to Kailash Satyarth. Then the last but not the least, in 2019, in the field of economics for the global poverty is given to Abhijit Banerjee. So here we have understand that the latest Nobel Prize is given to the Indian, namely the Abhijit Banerjee, and that too from the field of economics for the alleviation of the global poverty. So this is the story of the Indians till now as far as the Nobel Prize is concerned. Now, last but not the least, about the 2024, who are the winners, from where, and what is the category and their associated field. So Nobel Prize in the physics, this is very, very important for all the competitive exam for the 2024, because this is the list of winner list of 2024. So in the field of physics, the recipient is John Hopfield, who is from US, and the second is Geoffrey Hinton, who is from Canada. These two people have been awarded for the foundational discovery and the invention which enables the machine learning and the artificial neural network. So this is about the field of in the field of physics given to the two people. Then coming to chemistry, and here one recipient is David Baker, second is Demis Hassabis, and the third is John Zumper. Okay, these two people, Demis Hassabis and John Zumper, they are from UK, and when it comes to David Baker, that is, he is from US. So the contribution of David Baker is for the computational of protein design. So we know that the protein is the basic building block of the human life. Then if you talk about these other two candidates, they have been awarded for the chemistry for their contribution of protein structure prediction. Here, basically, the half of the prize is given to David Baker, and another half is going to be shared among these two persons. So it means half, 1/4, and 1/4. In the start of the class, I have told you that it can be given to maximum 3 people and for their contribution to the 2 different fields. So here we can see that one field is computational protein design, and the second is protein structure prediction. Okay. Then the Nobel Prize in the physiology or medicine, that is given to Victor Ambrose and Gary Ruvkun, who is both of them are American biologists for the discovery of microRNA and its role in the gene regulation. So this year medicine is related to the Nobel Prize in physiology and medicine is related to microribonucleic acid role in the genes regulation. Now, the Nobel Prizes in literature, this is very, very important. Reason being is the winner of this Han Kang. Han Kang, she have become the first South Korean Nobel Prize winner in the field of literature, which means South Korea till now haven't received any Nobel Prize in the field of literature. So that's how this is very, very important. So she have won this prize related to for her intense poetry that is reflecting the human misery or the fragility of the human life. So for her intense poetic prose that confront basically the historical trauma and fragility of the human life. This is very, very important that you should remember. Hang Kang related from the South Korea. That is the Nobel Prize in the literature. Coming to the Nobel Peace Prize 2024 is given to the organization from the Japan, namely Nihon Hidankyo. So I told you that this peace prize is something which can be given to individual also and to the institution or organization also. So for 2024, this is given to the organization, namely Nihon Hidankyo from the Japan. For the achievement is basically the effort in order to achieve the world which is free from the nuclear weapon and demonstrating through the witness testimony that the nuclear weapon must never be used. So this is about the Nobel Peace Prize. Last one is the Nobel Prize in Economics Science 2024. This is given to the 3 individual and everyone is from US. One is Daron A. Smoglu, then the second is Simon Johansson, and the third is James Ribanson. So they have been given that how the institution basically impact the development and the prosperity. So their achievement is for the studies related to the how the institution formed and their effect on the prosperity. Here basically their study is related to if any institutions formed because of autocratic in nature, or let's say centralized tendency, which is also known as a Average approach. So these kind of the institution, how does it impact the prosperity? On the other hand, if the institutions are very democratic, decentralized, then how it's going to impact the prosperity and the development at large of any country? So this was all about the complete journey of the Nobel Prize, right away from the historical background to the 2024 year, the prize list. So this was all about today's session. I hope you must have liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much.